3, 4, 6, 7, 8.
What are you doing?
I was counting O-rings until you messed me up. Now I got to start over again. 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, welcome to Gear Tasting. Today we're going to start off talking about the Multitasker Twist. I have mentioned the old Multitasker in a video a long time ago, I believe, but the old version was called the Tube, and I'm going to kind of compare and contrast these a little bit with the new Multitasker Twist. So I'm really excited about the innovation that Shane and the crew at Multitasker have brought to the table with the Twist, and I'll be honest, one of the things I'm most excited about is the fact that it has that aim point turret adjustment right on the end of that. So you can have this in a piece of kit, clipped on, which the clip here also acts as a screwdriver. So you have the screwdriver and this piece, the turret adjuster all in one, which are some of the adjustments I always find myself doing to an aim point. This is the new aim point T2, but the T1 also has the same adjustment. I've never understood, you know, even when aim point came along and upgraded the, just to show you that's clear. When they came to upgrade the T2, I'm really surprised that they didn't take this little cover here and make some kind of lanyard attachment for it. So I'm always nervous about losing these little covers, and you know, not that the Twist makes this any easier or changes that, but I do like the fact that it has this adjustment on the end. So even if this cap does get lost, I will always have my turret adjuster because the back side of this cap has that little adjuster on it. So this is what you use to interface with those two holes to actually make your windage, your windage adjustments. Your elevation adjustments are now handled through this cap in the top, and as you can see, the cap on the top does not have the little turret either. It's only in the side cap. So if you lose one of the two caps, or the most important cap, which is the turret cap on the side, you're kind of screwed in terms of adjustment. I guess you could always find something to come along and adjust that with. And I think that with the T2, it did come with a manual adjustment tool as well, but you know, it is what it is. I guess you could have that or the Twist in the field, but that's one of the things I'm most excited about on the Twist. But I like the form factor as well. I had been sent one of these tubes when Shane was first developing these years ago. This was kind of a carbon fiber-esque coated tool. You can see the overall shape hasn't changed much. One of the things that was done with this is instead of the pin punch, I guess on the top, that's where the actual turret adjustment came into play. And I love the fact that it has up and right written right there on the edge of the turret adjustment, because I'm always forgetting which way to turn that. The aim point cap itself has that little adjustment written in there. It says up/R, and it's really kind of hard to see the arrow on that. But anyway, one of the things I really like about this. So inside the Twist, once you open the cap, and again, I mentioned the cap doubles as a flathead screwdriver right there. So you get a standard AR front side adjustment tool right there, and it's on a magnetic attachment. So what you can do with that is take the included bits. So it's got these accessory bits. It's got anything from a couple different hex bits to 2 star tools, a couple of flatheads, and a Phillips. So a couple of slot heads, a 3/16 to 3/32 slotted, number 1 Phillips, T15 Torx, T10 Torx, and 3/16 hex, 9/64 hex, 1/8" hex, 7/64 hex, and 3/32 hex. Lots of hexes. So then in this, when you remove that actual side adjustment tool, you can actually dock in the different bits here, and they're magnetically captured inside this tool, so you can work on stuff with that. I really like that option. But you know, you do have to carry around these bits as well. And this, to me, is a better way to carry bits all in this little rubberized case. I really like that container, the holder for that. So as you dig into the Twist a little more and unscrew the back cap, you find 3 tools in the butt there. So what these are is a punch. So you've got a punch, you've got a carbon scraper, and then a dental pick. So all for cleaning. And the way that those interface is when I put this back together again, which I'm going to do here, just to make this a little clearer. The bottom of the twist has a threaded 8/32 male thread in it, and you can thread those attachments right into the bottom here, and then use this with those attachments. So it can also accept anything that Otis makes. Again, it's just a standard 8/32 thread, so a lot of different cleaning tools that you might have AR-wise can fit in here. Again, this is the Multitasker Twist. It's CNC machined out of 6063 aluminum, type 3 mil-spec anodized. Can't recommend these enough. I honestly really love this tool. It's one of my favorite things to take with me when I go to the range. And that kind of leads me into some questions over coffee that have to deal with that, which is why I have my range boxes and spare parts stuff out to talk about in questions over coffee. Welcome to Questions Over Coffee. Today I have a question from Jacob F. from Facebook. It says, Bryan, what are your favorite pieces of military issue gear? Is there anything common issue, hence able to be found at a decent surplus store, not hunt eBay for, that you think is as good as any commercial gear for the price? Thanks in advance. Gear tasting alone is worth the price of membership. Pound Tag Crew Leader. Thank you very much, Jacob. I appreciate your membership. So the question here is regarding surplus gear. I know you said you don't like to hunt eBay for it, but I mean, honestly, eBay has really become the surplus store online, honestly. Surplus stores are kind of running out of the good stuff, in my opinion. The few that I've visited in the Dallas-Fort Worth area are starting to carry more commercial equipment than they are surplus gear now. Granted, they've still got the old, busted bombs and old hand grenades and things like that that are cool to go check out, but for the most part, I feel like the military equipment has largely been purchased. People coming back from the military now aren't seeking out surplus stores to sell their stuff back to. They're using eBay and things like that to sell their old kit. So I honestly would push you towards the eBay direction, even though you don't want to go that way. So I do want to talk through a few pieces of kit though that I've personally used and really love that you can probably find at a surplus store too, which is probably what you're after with this question. So first off, a sea bag. This is in the Navy we call them sea bags. It's really just a duffel bag, but I really loved carrying on my sea bag. It was kind of the bane of my existence in the military, though. It got pretty stinky when, like at boot camp, when we'd stuff all our shit in here. But at the same time, I think this is a newer one I came back with, but at the same time, I think it's a great piece of kit to grab and throw stuff into. It's got backpack straps too that you can throw over yourself, and just an all-around good piece of kit. I've talked a lot about old Alice packs. This is probably something that you definitely will find at a surplus store still. Look for good frames too. You don't want any separation of the frame when you're looking for these in a surplus store. That's probably the biggest thing to be on the lookout for, but I still swear by this when I'm rucking. I'll put weight in one of these and ruck with it, and I still love the Alice pack. Another thing is a whoopee and a poncho. Old GI ponchos and whoopies are really hard to beat. You can probably still find these at surplus stores. The poncho is known for smelling really nice. I'm being sarcastic there. So, and then also, camouflage uniforms are always big at surplus stores. That's what I kind of like to hunt for. I'm a big fan of the old night camo from Desert Storm, probably because I was the age where I wasn't old enough to go in the military when Desert Storm was happening. I kind of watched with fondness of what was going on in Iraq at the time. So I'm always been a big fan of that night camo stuff. So, and another thing is the PCU system. There are surplus stores you might be able to find the layering system at, but there's 7 different layers, kind of like a Taco Bell burrito. So my favorite is the waffle top. This is the level, I think it's level 2. And this is one of my favorite pieces. I wear this around all the time still. And it even doesn't look, I guess it looks a little military, but it's, I don't know. I don't really mind. I like wearing it. It keeps me warm too. But so with the advent of like the PCU system, and I've talked about this a little bit on Gear Tasting before, but when Mark Twight developed that with the Special Forces and Special Operations community, he was taking pieces from the commercial market that were around and kind of putting them together, or I say pieces, but really technology. He was taking the technology from different pieces of clothing in the commercial market and bringing those into a military system. So now that the military has kind of adopted the PCU and it's working well, I think it's in its second or third or even fourth generation now, the commercial manufacturers that are making things for the tactical industry are now integrating those concepts into their pieces of clothing too. So surplus stuff is still great to get a hold of, but those options are still available even now in the commercial market as well. So, and then last but not least, actually I got two more things. MREs, you can sometimes find MREs in surplus stores, but they're technically not supposed to sell them. They're, they say U.S. government property, commercial resale is unlawful, so you may or may not find them at shady surplus stores. But an alternative is XMREs. They use the same stuff from the government issue MREs to package their stuff. So they're the same entrees, same things like that are inside. You don't get as many options as you do with traditional MREs. Like you don't get the candy and things like that, but still got the regular heater, the beverage bag, all the good stuff from MREs. Another thing you might be able to find too are some old military VS-17 panels. So this is one that I think I cut a piece off of a while back, but so they're magenta on one side or violet and then orange on the other side. And they kind of look different when they're folded up. This is a brand new one still in the package. That's how they look when you get them, if you can find them. But Battle Systems, and that's a company that makes a product that we sell too here at ITS, but they came out with a commercial version of the VS-17. So, obviously these are big and bulky, and Battle Systems came out with their MPIL marker panel, which is just a small cut down, almost looks like a cut down version of the VS-17, and it's double sided and has these Velcro squares to put attachments onto, things like that. So that is from Battle Systems if you can't find VS-17s. So those are a few things. Hope that answered your question. Okay, so the next question comes from Chris on Twitter, who asks, what do you store and transport your AR-15 tools in? I assume you take your toolkit to the range. And then I also have another question that came in from Paul, who asks, how are you carrying your weapons cleaning kit and what brand do you recommend? Those are both kind of in the same vein, and I wanted to take the opportunity to kind of not only show the range box that I take to and from the range, but also kind of serves here at the shop as kind of my cleaning kit as well. And then the spare parts kit that really lives at the shop, and sometimes I will take that back and forth to the range, just depending on if I'm going to a class where lots of people will be there, and I always love to help people out and work on guns. It's kind of something I'm passionate about, so I never mind giving out my supplies to people to fix their guns, so it's just kind of a thing I like to do. But first, since the question mainly revolved around cleaning kit and things like that, I'll show the range box first, and then I'll get into the spare parts kit. So this is the MTM case guard, and I do think they still make this. I've had this for, probably 8 years or so now. It's been quite a while. I got this when, actually maybe 7 years, because ITS is about to turn 7, so it was 2009. I think I got it right when ITS started. So anyway, I really love this thing. It's been a workhorse. You can see it's got a little bit of damage on the top where it got busted through, and I think I had another crack in the actual box itself somewhere, but for the most part it's really held up well. The top section has a pretty good organizational system built into it. I'm fairly OCD and I like all my stuff organized, and I'd like to know where everything is. So it's kind of helped me in regards to organization. These two dishes here, I guess, I don't know what else to call them, lift out, and you get kind of further organization underneath those as well. And then you can take the entire top lid off with these little latches on the side. can lift that entire piece off, and then you have more organization in the bottom. So I guess I'll just kind of go piece by piece. I'm going to do this a little fast because we do have an article online that details kind of everything I have in here, and while things have changed since that article, for the most part, this has stayed the same. The thing that I've been really trying to do is kind of look at my cleaning kit in a couple different ways. So over the years, I've noticed that if I'm going to the range in a vehicle, I like to have a certain amount of cleaning kit items in my vehicle that I always have. So if I want to just hit the range on the way home or something, I always have things that I need right there. So those really are mainly cleaning tools for a pistol, not necessarily an AR. I do have an AK that I sometimes have in my truck too, so the AK has a built-in cleaning rod in that, so I really don't have to carry around a big cleaning rod for the AK. But anyway, I like to think of it as my vehicle, and then this, which is just my range box, so this kind of is the transportation type element of my cleaning kit. And then I also have stuff that I keep on my rig when I'm in class. So that's nothing more than, let me grab it real quick, as long as I'm talking about it. So this is kind of my bare bones cleaning kit. I've got and I cannot remember the company that makes these. It's not a bore snake, but they're fairly new. I just got these a while back. But anyway, I carry a bore snake-like device, and I apologize. I'll put this in the description of who actually makes these particular ones. But I just keep them together with a rigger's rubber band. One's for 5.56, one's for 9. Those are the two calibers I usually find myself shooting the most. So I have these in a little bottle of Slip 2000 EWL. I swear by this stuff. So this always kind of goes with me in my kit when I'm at the range or wherever. So, and then I always have this kind of in the vehicle, and then like I said, I've got that smaller kit that's in the vehicle as well. And then here at the shop, I have like my longer cleaning rods that, I'll kind of do a full maintenance on my guns with. So those kind of live at the shop. So just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what kind of is all encompassing in my kit here. In the bottom of this, MTM case guard comes with these things, and these are inserts. This is just a rifle rest, so the bottom of the case turns into a rifle rest. And then they came out with another insert for the AR, so this fits into the mag well on an AR, so you can actually just put an AR on this too to clean and do things like that on. I really like this attachment. Someone actually sent this to me a few years back, and appreciate that. So as well in the bottom, I've got a couple of greeny weenies. I've got some different attachments for cleaning, different brushes, different bore brushes, things like that. I've got a couple of spare P-mag springs. I've got some spare AR springs, buffer tube springs in this. I've got some spare paracord. I like to always have that with me. Tape is a big one, rigger's rubber bands, Battle Systems tape. Also have some tape for marking targets at the range. And then, just a smaller cleaning rods, things like that are in this as well. And this is kind of my travel hammer. It's got some different attachments here if I need to beat on anything at the range. So, and then the top of the case, as I mentioned, this is kind of Sharpies, pens, different bits, screwdrivers, lighter, things like that. These are more bore snakes in 308, 5.56, and 9. Some spare batteries, which I need to replace with lithiums because I already see these going bad. Spare hearing protection. I always like to have at least 2 or 3 sets of hearing protection when I'm at the range if my electronic ones go out. I always like to have options for that. And then in the top here, I've got some cleaning patches in the back, more just range accessories, a lot of different Allen wrenches because almost everything requires Allen wrenches. Got some spare Loctite. I've got Q-tips for cleaning. I've got wire brushes for cleaning, both nylon and brass. Got some spare Surefire batteries. More cleaning rod stuff. Again, another thing is Slip 2000. I kind of repurposed this bottle of insect repellent a long time ago, and I put hops in here, so I always have that with me. Degreaser, oil. This is just kind of my traveling spare parts kit, so I'll have some small AR accessories in here in this little Pelican. I always like to have a notebook with me. Just a traveling castle nut wrench, and then this is kind of a breakdown cleaning rod that I always keep with me, and then a set of pin punches. So I haven't bought a secondary set of pin punches yet, so this is one of those things that stays with this kit, and I'll use it at the shop too. So that's just a quick run through of the kit, and I just wanted to show you that before we moved on. Put these in backwards. So now we'll get into the spare parts kit. Move this out of the way. So this is the spare parts kit I wrote about in my article entitled Spare Parts Kit for the Obsessive Compulsive, and that's what I've done with this thing. It's pretty thoroughly organized. I put Dymo labels in on pretty much every little slot in there, and I've got everything labeled as to the spare parts for everything. And these are more AR parts, so this is an AR-15 centric spare parts kit. So everything from extractors to buffer retainers and magazine catches and ejectors and roll pins and firing pins and everything is in here. So I've probably got enough parts in here to build a couple of guns. The bottom of this is an it's called an Akro bin. I wrote it down so I have it here. Akro-Mills 6318 organizer. So, and then in the bottom of this, it has further organization for parts. So I've got kind of the larger things like delta rings and charging handles and buffer tubes and some more springs. I've even got a full-on bolt carrier group right there and other things. So there is a lot of things that I'm prepared to replace with this kit. Like I said, other than the actual upper and lower receiver, I could probably build and the barrel, obviously. I could probably build a couple guns with this. So I will link to the full description of this, where we've got really detailed photos of both the rifle cleaning kit as well as this spare parts kit, so you can check out some detailed photos of everything that I have in here. And I think I even have a bulleted list that I was obsessive compulsive about and put together with everything that I have in here. So that's that. Questions? Let me make sure I answered them. Yes, what do you use to transport? Talked about that. Weapons cleaning kit. What brand do you recommend? So again, that was the MTM shooting range box, and this was the Akro-Mills 6318 organizer, both of which will be in the description on the YouTube video. Hey guys, thanks for watching Gear Tasting. This is the 32nd episode, and I just want to say a quick thank you. This has been extremely enjoyable for me to do every week, and I just wanted to thank you guys. So if you're liking what we're doing at Gear Tasting, please consider clicking below at our crew leader membership and check it out. Consider joining. Allow us to give you back something in return too. And again, as always, I answer questions every episode, or most every episode, depending on how long-winded I get with some other stuff. But use the pound tag Gear Tasting on any social media network with your question. We'll find them and I will answer them on the show. Thanks again for watching.